If you're watching this video, I assume you've wondered how certain online coaches can scale by at least 15K per month in 30 days, while others get stuck with their offer, lead mechanism, traffic mechanism, or even sales process, because essentially these are the only four that you have to pay attention to. So in this video, I'll show you the essentialist approach to building a coaching business, the exact four-step process that we use to scale our clients by at least 10 to 15K per month and help them do it as fast as possible, because a lot of us need cash today, and this is for you if you want to do that. So let me show you the four-step approach, which consists of the offer, lead mechanism, traffic mechanism, and the sales process. For a little bit of context, by the way, I'm David. I am CEO and co-owner of High Day Media, and we help online coaches scale by at least 10 to 15K per month. Here are a couple of examples. You can go look up these Instagrams, and please check them out because they support our work if you check them out. So step one is your offer with a clear transformation and timeline. First, before you create an offer, you have to choose a niche you will be active in. Now, there are essentially three main niches: health, wealth, and relationships. And if you have no idea what to focus on, let's say that you teach martial arts, then choose one that you are most successful in. Because if you teach martial arts and you got successful in business because of it, then focus on the aspect on the discipline that martial arts builds and why that is good for someone. Or if you are just super healthy, and you are super energized all the time, then focus on how martial arts can make you healthier and can increase your life quality. Because quite frankly, although it's cool to protect yourself in sketchy situations, a lot of people won't have the pain associated with that sort of thing, because they just say that, okay, but then I just won't go into dangerous places. Why do I need martial arts training? But once you've got this one figured out, then you can go on to the second step, which is picking a strong pain that you have either lived through or saw many others struggle with. This is very important, to have a pain that's familiar to you, because if it's very unfamiliar, then you will have to do a lot of market research and you won't exactly know what your people are struggling with. Bonus tip: choose rich people problems when starting out, or at least try to figure out a way where people get the money from when you're trying to pick a problem. Because the same struggles and frustrations very often come up for poor people and rich people as well. The only difference is that rich people not only have more money, there are two differences. Rich people have more money, and rich people are more likely to have a value-based thinking. That means that you don't have to be that great in sales for them to see the value in what you provide, instead of just focusing on the mechanisms that you are going to, help them achieve their transformation with. So as the third step, you will be defining the following: your target audience's desired state, their current state, and the roadblocks preventing them from getting from their current state to their desired state. It will look like the following. You will have a statement something like this: go from X to Y and say bye to Z, Z being the roadblocks. Now, you have to describe a real-life person and sort of quantify their pain in order to make it as understandable for people as possible. For example, let's say that you have a productivity offer. So for people to become more productive, that's what you help them with. Then the desired state is becoming 10 times more productive, while their current state is always working but never done, not seeing tangible results, exhausted, overwhelmed, and stuff like that. Their roadblocks could be they don't have time to think and they regress to old habits without knowing what the cause of it is. So this is what it essentially looks like. They are sad now. They have roadblocks preventing them from getting too happy. And what you will do is describe all of these three things over here in order to position your offer correctly. Now, after this, if you are a smart cookie and have worked with similar clients, 5 similar clients, in terms of what sort of offer you have, then you can solve the roadblocks one by one and develop the 3 to 4 pillars necessary to get the result. Now, you can see as an example, these 4 pillars I have developed in order to make it understandable for you what I help people do. So build coaching business, and these are the 4 pillars that you have to have in order to build a successful coaching business. So these are the 3 to 4 pillars. And if you're not a smart cookie, then you just have to ask people in your network who have struggled with the problem, or people that you know have the problem. Now, side note, no one is as smart a cookie as they believe. So this is just to start out. So if you believe that you're a smart cookie, you will still have to ask your audience, but maybe for starting out, you will be fine just taking your assumptions. In general, it's essential that you always ask instead of assume, because we've seen this so many times, for example, with our client Naj over here, because we've had a certain assumption about his audience, and then in the end, it turned out that it was completely wrong, and we had to go the other way, which we only found out by asking the audience. Now, just to illustrate all of this, if you assume, then it very often happens to be the case that you single out one or two people's opinions, like here, and then you come to a vastly different conclusion compared to what your audience wants or what the market wants rather. Whereas when you ask, then you just see the audience and market as it is, and then you can just sell them what they want. So with that out of the way, you know what the desired state, the current state is, what the roadblocks are, and you know how you will solve it with a 3 to 4 pillar approach, a framework, a unique method that you have. And then you can finally formulate your offer statement, which is, I help target client go from current state to desired state in timeline in 30 days with your framework. Now here you will aim for a price point of at least $3,000. If you can't charge that much, then I'll show you in a bit how to increase your price point and how you can provide more value so people just feel it, that it's justified to pay you $3,000. So with your target client, for example, you're selling a trading offer. So people are struggling with trading. Then you can say struggling traders. Or if you're selling to corporate workers working too much, then you can say to corporate overachievers. And as the current state, for example, if someone is wasting hard-earned cash, then you can call it out. So I help struggling traders go from wasting hard-earned cash to hyper profitability in 30, 60, 90, 120 days with the 4-step XYZ system. So this is how you would be framing your offer, and this will be the base of everything else that you do. And as I mentioned earlier, so if you don't feel like that you can charge $3,000 for your offer, believe me, it's much more likely that you can. If you just speak to the wrong people, you will never sell a $3,000 offer, because if they just don't have the money, they would just never buy. But if you want to increase the value of your offer and justify the price point better, then you can use Alex Hormozi's value framework, which is dream outcome multiplied by perceived likelihood of achievement divided by time delay and effort and sacrifice is equal to value. So you would be increasing these two up here or decreasing these two down here and altering your offer statement like that in order to make it more worthwhile for someone to pay that $3,000. But again, it's much more likely that people will buy it. You're just asking the wrong people. So in step 2, you will focus on your lead mechanism, turning eyeballs into sales calls. This is extremely important. If you don't have this one locked in, then you will never get to actually selling to people, and you will always be reliant on weird marketing strategies that are unreliable. So this lies at the core of collecting cash, because this is the first time that you are converting someone essentially. You have 4 main pillars of doing this. The first one is building your authority, your credibility, your messaging, and CTAs, call to actions, to actually have people take action and not just watch what you're doing. Now I have to point out that people only buy from you if they want the outcome you sell, trust your word, so you have credibility. And thirdly, the effort and sacrifice is not too much. And fourthly, the time delay is low, or at least clear how much time it will take. So this refers also to this value framework over here. So people will only buy from you if they see enough value. So in short, if your offer is valuable, then they will buy from you. Sorry, I won't finish that. So here are the 4 things to actually convert people, to get authority, credibility, perfect your messaging, and have CTAs for people to take the next steps. So first, you need a power offer script outlining what you do, why you are doing it, what the urgency there is, what the scarcity is, what your authority or credibility is. Then second, you will have the setting script. So you know exactly how to talk to people about your offer in your direct messages, when you're calling up people and stuff like that. Then thirdly, you will have the Calendly setup, so a calendar essentially where people can book a call with you so that you can actually then sell them on a sales call. And then fourthly, you will have testimonials, transformations, or your own journey to as social proof to give you not only authority in the topic, but also credibility for other people to see that you can help them achieve the same results. This is how I would go about letting people know about these 4 things so that I can actually convert in the end. First, posting them to your audience. If you say that you don't have an audience, you have an audience. So if you have 100, 200 Instagram followers, that's already an audience. And if you think about it, whatever your offer is, you are very likely to find some people in your circle who are interested in that topic. And you could network with them and ask them whether or not, for example, they know other people who would be struggling with that problem. But let's get to the exact scripts later. But let's say that you've posted to your audience and you can't really find anyone. Then you would start with a warm list of 100 people you know/know of and message them as often as possible until they reply. Now, this seems desperate, but this is not really desperate at all. You just want to talk to them. For example, a lot of people don't check Instagram too often, but they are very active on LinkedIn. A lot of people don't check their email, but they will always pick up the phone. So you get the gist. This is how your lead mechanism should look in practice. First, you have a lead. Then you let them know of your power offer. Then you bombard them essentially with testimonials, transformations, and your own journey to reinforce their, the trust in you and trust in your word. Then they become an engaged lead in that they reply to you. Then you use a setting script, so, words that will get them to book a call. And then you have the Calendly setup to actually let them book a call. And then in the end, you will have your call booked. And that next step is here in the sales process. Now, you might also have the question, like, where do I find these leads? How do I, maybe post to my audience, and where do I find these people of 100? Well, that is something that you will do in step 3. That is getting a traffic mechanism set up to get you the right eyeballs on your offer and get you the right leads, essentially, because if you're just talking to your family and you consider them as leads, that's cool, but they're just not qualified. So to get qualified leads, you will look at your demographic, your target demographic, and your target psychographic and analyze where they are present. It's easier if you look for people like yourself because you know exactly where you spend your time, whether you are on Reddit a lot of the times, YouTube, Instagram, or whatever. So this is why if you're looking for people like yourself, you're selling to people like yourself. Like if you're a bodybuilder and you're selling to bodybuilders, then it's easier to find them. But this is how you would find anyone on the internet. First, ask yourself, how can I find people I know/had contact with? So first, always look for people you have had one contact with. Maybe you met them once. Maybe you met them once. Maybe you spoke to them twice. Maybe you only DM'd them a couple of times. Doesn't matter. If you had contact with them, then they are already a warm lead. Second, what platform are they easiest to reach on? Let's say that you're talking to corporate people. Then LinkedIn is obviously the best choice. Let's say that you're talking to women between 40 and 50. Then Facebook and sometimes even Instagram, you would be surprised, could come into the question. Or let's say that you are talking to business owners, then for business owners, Instagram and YouTube are big ones. But then, for example, you could be talking to software engineers, and software engineers, for example, are very findable on Reddit, in Reddit forums, when they're discussing solutions to their software development problems, or even Stack Overflow, there you could also find them. Now, once you've found these types of people and you've put together your list of 100 of them, then you can finally initialize conversations with the right people and present your power offer subtly. This is an example of someone reaching out to me and initializing a conversation, and he actually booked me on a call because I appreciated what he was doing and I was interested in his offer. So there are essentially 2 main ways that this can go down. Either you are reaching out to someone who is a warm lead or someone who is a cold lead. So for warm leads, you would, after initializing the conversation, because you already know them, so just tell them about or ask about their life, something that you saw on social media about them or something like that. And then you can just tell them straight up, hey, by the way, I've opened up 3 spots for my coaching where I help people go from current state to desired state in timeline. Do you happen to know anyone who is struggling with this I could help with? And you are talking to them, they are your ICP, but you are asking for a referral because it's so much more low friction than just asking them straight up, by the way, do you need help? And one of two things can realistically happen. Either they refer you someone who actually needs it, or they actually tell you that, hey, I'm that guy, I need it, let's do it. So this is how you would reach out to warm audiences, warm leads. And for cold ones, you would first try to extract a little bit of their current situation. So what even are they doing? What have they tried? Just, be curious and be a normal person. Just talk to them normally. Nowadays, text maybe doesn't work. So if you want to use voice notes, use a video chat and stuff like that, it's much easier that way. And second, you will extract their goals, the desired situation. Third, their roadblocks and failed efforts. And then fourth, you will offer them a solution that, for example, hey, by the way, from what you've told me, you're the exact person that I'm helping. So would you be against maybe if I show you what I do, and maybe it could be interesting for you? So this is how, for example, you would pitch your power offer and then offer them on a value call. And then on the value call, which you could use as a sales call, you will have to lock in your sales process, and you will have to have conviction to sell the offer. Now, I can't stress this enough. You have to build your conviction in yourself first and then your offer, because this will make or break the close the most. And conviction doesn't appear out of thin air either. You either have to work for free at first until you have confidence in what you do and you have success and testimonials. Or second, you have to do personal development and actually address the problem that you lack conviction in yourself. Now, how is it possible to lose conviction in yourself? Maybe you're not waking up on time. You are constantly pressing snooze on your alarm and you are not really keeping yourself to your word. Now, I bet you didn't expect this video to go down this route, but after working with several online coaches, this is the number one deciding factor that I see in predicting whether someone will be successful in their sales efforts at first or not. And on the long term as well. So every single good salesperson will realize that they have to be first convinced that they can do the job. They trust themselves. So they have conviction in themselves. And then they also have conviction in the offer and the good that it does. So once you have this one locked in, this is probably the hardest step, then you can follow the 3 sales process essentials. The first one being the pre-call, so people actually appear on the call and you can sell them before the call. And the second is the on-call, thirdly the follow-up. So even if you don't have good sales skills, a good sales process can close deals for you on autopilot. And you think that's a lie, but that couldn't be closer to the truth. So let's start with the pre-call. Many people think the sale only starts in the 45 minutes that the sales call takes place, but that's not true. The sale starts at the first click. So at the first time they open your message, the first time they see your posts, the first time that you get in contact with them. And most people don't buy from the best, they buy from the first that is good enough. So if you're the first that is good enough, then you will get the prospect, you will get the client. And we are talking about scaling over here, not necessarily long-term delivery. But if you have clients, then you can improve and then you will also be the best. So it's sort of like a loop in which if you're already in, then you are already a winner. So in the pre-call sequence, I would recommend a 4-step pre-call sequence. First, send over an overview of your framework. It's sort of like a video sales letter. What even is that you do. This can be in a video format, a VSL, or it can be also a document. Second, send a selfie video 1 day before the call. You should keep it very simple and, for example, say that, hey John, just saw that we have a call tomorrow. I'm very excited to show you something. I've already prepared a couple of things. So if you have any questions, let me know. And maybe I can also bring a couple of resources for you that are relevant to your specific situation. So this is something that you could, for example, do 1 day before the call, making it more likely that people will appear and they are hyped. Thirdly, you will send a voice memo the morning of the call. Hey John, just confirming that we have a call today at 5 p.m. I'm excited for it, already preparing a couple of things. Let me know if everything's good on your side. So this would be the third reminder, and then, a text 1 hour before the call so that people know that it's starting and, they are going about their day and you have to, let them know. Maybe they forgot. But after that is done, after the pre-call sequence is done, then you have to lock in your on-call framework and what you are doing on-call. You see, 90% of sales is in your conviction, in yourself and your service. often it's the lack of conviction that's the bottleneck, because it's preventing you from thinking creatively in unexpected situations. For example, a card that gets declined, or maybe the person wants a little bit of different package than you're offering, and it conveys an uncertainty to the prospects which you don't want to have. And it causes you to have the wrong tonality, say the wrong things, and do all the wrong things that you can on a sales call. So very often it's not even learning the small little techniques, it's just having conviction in yourself and the offer, and being clear on the frame on the sales call, diagnosing the patient sort of very clearly instead of talking about yourself. So you want to make the offer to that person. You don't want to sell yourself. You want them to sell themselves. And then thirdly, show a framework and ask confirmatory questions like, does it make sense? Do you have any questions about this? Should I go back? What do you feel like will be most helpful to you? These are confirmatory questions. And then fourthly, you will just close them there. You will collect the payment on the call, not wait for bank transfers, not wait for stuff like that. Just have a very simple Stripe setup, and have them pay on the call. So if you've implemented all of these 3 steps, then I can almost guarantee you that you will be able to sell high-ticket deals even at 3K a pop. And once you've got to this point, quite frankly, now do this 5 times per month with a 3K offer and you're at 15K per month. So I hope that this video was helpful to you and you realized what the essentialist approach is to building a coaching business, and that you don't even need fancy landing pages, you don't need fancy automations, you don't need all of these fancy things that people promote to be essential, like, you know, 1 million followers on Instagram or another 1 million followers on YouTube. I hope you have realized that those are just lies, and essentially all you need is a good heart, so actually wanting to help people, and conviction in yourself, and, you know, a couple of steps that I've just outlined over here. So go out there and implement these steps. If you're an online coach, consultant, or online therapist, and you would like to scale your business and you have other questions, you want me to take you through every single one of these steps, then you can also go to the first link below. It's our landing page. Watch the video, check out our testimonials, and if you feel like a funnel analysis could be beneficial to you, so you would like me and you to go over your client acquisition system and actually draw up a custom roadmap for you, how you can scale to 15K, 20K, 30, 50K per month, then book a call on the page and I'll be looking forward to seeing you there. If not, that's also perfectly fine. I hope that you found this valuable. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.